First of all, I would love to thank our passionate fan base. When you talk about us being able to, we made the NIT and we played three of what I describe as electric games in this building. And our fan base turned out, and I thought that they were incredible for all three. That says a lot about our fans and how passionate they are about our program. Second of all, I'd like to thank my players. When you think about our season, when we're going 24-11, I don't think that there was a game out of those 35 games that I didn't feel like they gave me maximum effort through wins or loss. Sometimes the ball didn't go in. We had highs, we had lows. Obviously, as you guys know, we had one game where we scored 24 points. But that being said, I thought every single time we stepped on the floor, those guys competed for me. And that's what, obviously trying to establish a great culture, and I think we're moving in the right direction. My coaching staff did a tremendous job, obviously preparing these guys. They worked extremely hard, and then we go to the families and the parents of these young men and how hard they have worked to obviously be able to let me to coach their kid. That being said, what a great, for you guys, probably not for me, great game to watch. It was a tremendous offensive game. I felt like whoever had the ball the last time would have the opportunity to win the game. I thought Markel Johnson made a tremendous play down the stretch to give us the lead, and then their point guard obviously did the same thing. He had a great steal at the end, and then obviously made a play to win the game. Proud of these guys. Certainly no one wants their season to end this way, but when I look at our body of work, I can sleep at night feeling that this program is moving in the right direction, and our guys have gained valuable experience from this. We're one of 20 teams between NCAA and NIT that are still playing basketball up until today. And so, honestly, when I got in the locker room, I told those guys, we talked about their maximum effort all year long, and I gave everybody a hug because I'm proud of how hard we competed. If we continue to get better, then obviously we'll learn from this, and we'll be able to keep moving the program forward. So, questions?
Let's start with questions for Torin.
TD, when you have a career high in your points, and obviously you pointed out there, will you remember that or the last play there, the pass on the out of bounds?
Honestly, I probably just remember the electric environment that it was tonight. I just tried to play every play in the moment and take it in and enjoy it. Because win or lose, that was my last game at State in front of our home fans. So, I'll probably just remember that.
Did you see Cooper on that play? You were trying to get to Markel, but did you see Cooper?
On which play?
On the pass, on that where he stole the ball about the 3.
Yeah, he kind of just broke in front of the pass and got to it. So.
Given the game that you played, it almost seems unjust for it to end this way. I guess, like in the moments kind of when the game ended, that must have been a hard feeling to even kind of wrap your head around.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. Any loss is tough for me because I'm a competitor. I love to win. So any loss is tough. I tried to give it all for my teammates, and the fact that we couldn't win, I was more, upset for them and being hard on myself because I felt like I could have made a couple plays down the stretch and it would have been a little different. But, that's life. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. It's not about, it's about how you react to it and how you come back from it. So.
You played multiple games here at Reynolds Coliseum, but can you ever remember it being that intense for the full 40 minutes the way it was tonight?
Yeah, that was probably the most intense electric game I've ever played at Reynolds. It was amazing. Probably one of the most fun games that I've had at State. So.
Toward the juxtaposition of your last 2 years, and your first 2 years you sat one, and then you played the first year. NC State obviously did significantly better as a team. Your thoughts on that and how it's looking going forward?
I think it's looking great going forward. My first 2 years, I feel like, we had a lot of different pieces and we just couldn't get it together. And then, Coach came and we were able to, establish a different type of culture and playing hard and taking everything a little more seriously. And I think it's done wonders for the program, and I like the way the direction that we're moving in. So.
Torin, what's the thing that you're going to remember most or take away most from your time in this program?
Just my teammates, all the teammates that I've had over the years, all the great times we've had, all my coaches that have, been able to impart some wisdom on me. All the fans that come out and support us every day, every game is amazing. I try to take it in every game, so I just remember all of that. Remember all the everybody that had a part in it. NC State is a beautiful place, and it's a place where a lot of people love to get behind a team that works hard, and we've just seen that and that energy be able to carry on. So I'll remember that.
Torin, in the big picture, when you've experienced everything, how do you think you can make an impact when the ball stops bouncing down the road based on all the things you've learned the last 5 years?
I would just say basketball is kind of like life. It's a roller coaster, and you can never get too high or too low. So everything I've learned, on the court and off the court, I'll be able to take it into when I'm a father, or a husband one day, and just be able to, stay even-keeled and try to inspire other people, to be able to chase their dreams. Because NC State's allowed me the chance to chase mine. Every day since I was 11 years old, I pray at night to be able to play in the ACC, and NC State gave me the chance to do that. So, I can't be more happy and can't be more blessed for the opportunity.
What's your favorite memory of Coach Keatts?
Coach Keatts?
Be careful what you say.
It's two. Honestly, it's hard to pick one. It's really hard to pick one memory. That's like picking your favorite song. It's too many to choose from. So I would just say the energy that he brought to NC State is my favorite memory. Just being here for so long, I was able to see a change in energy, and it carried on through the program and through the fan base. So that's probably my favorite memory of it.
Who shoots better?
Who shoots better? Me or Coach?
Mm-hmm.
Me, of course. Last time we played the shooting game, ask him who won.
He's right there.
You guys done with him?
Thanks, TD.
Thank you.
Thanks, Torin.
All right, cool.
I thought I was gonna say you shot better.
On that note, Coach, what has Torin Dorn meant to this program?
He's meant a lot to this program. I want you to think about it. I've taken a 6'5" guy, and I've asked him to be successful in the ACC as kind of a big guard, power forward. He's embraced it. He's played extremely hard. He's led us in rebounding. He led us in scoring. I think the thing that stands out about him is that as good of a basketball player as he is, he's a tremendous person. He's an ambassador for NC State. He believes in the brand of NC State. He's about everything you think about culture when you're thinking about a young man who's, has already graduated. He's still working on another degree. You never have to worry about him off the court. He does all of the right stuff. He is, obviously matured right in front of our eyes. He was a disappointed young man when I took the job because the year before he played, he had a very good non-conference, but when conference came around, he didn't have the same opportunities. And just to see him play his last game and be aggressive and score 34 points and play in front of an electric crowd, it means a lot to me. When we all get in this business, we want to know that, wins or losses, that we're sending young men into the real world ready. And I don't know that there's another young man in the world that's more ready than Torin Dorn.
When one guy has 44 points on the other team, you have to expect him to be the one who takes those shots at the end, right? Were you surprised that it was Cooper and not Matthews who delivered the last two shots?
Yeah, I thought the ball bounced in his hand. I thought, when he made the corner three, I thought it was good. And listen, it was a tremendous offensive game. And it really literally came down to whoever had the ball last. Matthews' game tonight was outstanding. He was tremendous. We knew coming in he was a big-time scorer. I'm leaving the game saying he was the best scorer that I played against this year. He raised up, he made shots. He was good, he made shots on the break. And they're an elite offensive team. Obviously, I knew that coming in. Number 8 in the country as far as scoring. It was a great game. If you were a fan, you loved it. It's unfortunate that we had to come on the short end of this, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
Kevin, when you thought about the long term, when you took over and you started to build this program, are you aware, is the program where you thought it would be or hoped it would be through 2 years?
Well, when I took the job, one thing I promised is that we would compete and we would play hard. I also promised that it'll play a style that our fans will love, and you know, if you look at our fans, they've turned out, whether we're playing at the PNC or we're playing here in Reynolds, and our guys are fighters. You know, we don't have the talent that some of the teams that we're playing against in the ACC has right now. But I will tell you that now that every time that they go out on the floor, our guys compete and fight. And so the answer to your question is, I think we're moving in the right direction. I hope the guys continue in the program to get better. That's what we're looking for. And the guys who are moving on, which will be obviously Torin Dorn and Eric Lockett, I wish them a lot of success because I think both of those guys will, you know, play basketball, but when the ball stops, they both will be successful in life.
How important is it to have a guy like Torin come through in the early stages of building your program that the younger guys can see and look to set an example?
Well, he's everything. You know, the guy is and forget about the fact that he's a basketball player. He's a great ambassador for NC State. I mean, he's a tremendous. Those guys don't come along very often. And you know, I'll go back and say that, you know, when you talk about a guy who does everything right, you know, that's Torin Dorn.
You mentioned the guys who you're losing. What's your confidence level on the other guys who you will have back? Do you feel like all those guys will be back, or most of those guys will be back? Do you see as much roster turnover as you had last time?
Yeah, Joe, I hope that that everybody will return. Now, obviously, I know you guys read, you know, right now it's almost 400 guys in the transfer portal, so you never know. What we usually do is I take a couple days and, you know, I let everybody's mind get cleared and guys catch up on some academic stuff, and then I typically have a meeting with each individual guy and kind of figure out where they're at mentally. From my standpoint, I would love for everybody to stay and to help continue to build a program. We've got a tremendous freshman who's sitting out, and Manny Bates, and I think if we can add him to the mix, along with some of the guys that we have coming in and we're going to sign, and guys that we will recruit, I think we can move the program, keep moving in the right direction.
What is, excuse me, what is that next step that you need for this program to go in that direction that you want to take it?
Well, I mean, obviously, I know everybody talks about the NCAA. That's our goal too. Obviously, to get to the NCAA, and from our perspective, we thought we did, you know, pretty much enough to get there. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But I want to continue this program moving upward. You know, I'm blessed. I think if I'm not mistaken, we've won 45 games in 2 years. As a staff and with the guys that's in the program. It's pretty good. Now we want to continue. We want to continue to build. We want to continue to build a program. We want to continue to get guys better. You know, I've always come from a background where development is huge. And so some of the guys, we want to break their game down and get better in their areas and then move the program forward.
Have you ever coached against a guy that had 40 points?
I don't think so. You know, it was a point in the game where he was scoring that I wanted to come out there. Then I realized I had patella tendon surgery and I couldn't guard him either. But, I mean, he was electric tonight. I know you guys saw it, so, you know, it was majority of the shots were tough shots, and we wanted him to take tough shots. But he was good. I mean, he had a great night, and he was good, and, you know, I tipped my hat to him.
Will you, when you start looking holistically at where some of these losses happen, and some of the end game execution stuff, is that something you'll, in a couple of weeks, go back and look at the end of the Wisconsin game, the end of this game, the end of some of these Florida State, Louisville, and just try to piece together where it went wrong or what you can improve, or what, is there any kind of thread that you can identify and see and say, we can build on this and learn from this?
Yeah, well, Joe, I'll go back and I'll look at the entire season. I'll look at those games that we lost at the end. I'll look at the ones we won at the end at Pittsburgh, the ones we won Clemson here. You know, we had, because we've got a small margin for error. A lot of our games came down to the end, and you know, obviously we'll go back and see if we can get better at that. But a lot of times it's players making plays. You know, when you look at even in the NIT, you know, with the games against Harvard and Hofstra, where, you know, close games at the end, and I thought we made some plays. So we'll look at the whole entire season. I'm a guy that obviously shoots for perfection. And so if there's an area where I think that we need to improve, then, we'll go to work and we'll try to get better in that area. And, that's what good programs and good coaches and good players do. They improve on their weaknesses and get better for the next season.
Can you tell me about why you got the technical foul directly?
Well, I know why I got it. I don't know why the call was made, but I absolutely deserved a technical foul. I mean, I was very upset. I thought it was a bad call. And that's a disagreement, so I absolutely know why I got it.
Coach, I'd love to get your thoughts about playing here at Reynolds Coliseum, especially with the atmosphere that it provided tonight. Obviously a sold-out crowd, and how loud it was in there. What's your thoughts as far as maybe playing more games here at Reynolds, including games during the ACC schedule?
Yeah, I know it's been a big conversation about Reynolds, and obviously you guys know how much I love Reynolds, and it's a great place. That being said, we're probably one of the few teams in the country that has two great places to play. The PNC is an unbelievable arena. It holds 19,000. We sell that place when we're talking about recruitment. We sell it when we're talking about, obviously we got a passionate fan base. So the good balance of trying to figure out, from what I've been told, we've got 10,000 season ticket holders. Well, of course, you can't get 10,000 people in here. So it's got to be a great balance. That being said, there may be more than one game in this building if we can figure out how to do it. I don't want to put anybody in a bad spot because it would be unfair for me to say I won't play 6 games in here when I don't know the whole history, or I do know that we've got a certain amount of games that we have to play in the PNC, which is 15. I do know that we have a season ticket base of 10,000 season tickets. I know we have to allow our student body a certain amount of tickets. So if we can figure all that stuff out and keep everybody happy, then certainly I would love to play a couple more games.